A landscape is a view of the outdoors. But why does an artist choose to make a landscape? Is it a beautiful view that catches your eye? Is it gorgeous colors? Is it your favorite time of day or night? Is it someplace that you've always wanted to visit? Or a favorite place you've been? This landscape will be inspired by fall, but you may have your own favorite season. I'm using different colors of torn paper to create my landscape. A glue stick to put it all together, and some crayons to add detail. My base layer is going to be vertical. This will be my sky. When I start off with a strip of green paper at the bottom, I already have a very simple landscape, the sky and the grass. I'm going to add a second piece of torn paper. I slide it behind the first one, and already I'm creating a sense of space and distance. If I add another paper, it gives me even more space in my landscape. Now I have a row of hills. You can slide these papers up and down until you think they look just right. Then it's time to glue them in place. I lift the first paper off and add the glue to my middle layer. So I'm going to work my way up from the bottom. Once I glue my green on top of my middle layer, I'm going to lift that one up and put some glue on the next one. Now I can glue my hills down on top of my sky. When you look at a landscape, the foreground has the most detail. Notice the leaves. As you move to the middle ground, there's less detail, and when you get to the background, there's even less. Things fade as they move away from you. I'm going to be using size to help show the difference between my foreground, my middle ground, and my background in this landscape. Because it's a fall theme, I'm going to be drawing 3 pumpkins. The largest pumpkin goes in the foreground. It's going to have the most detail because it's closest to us. You can color your pumpkins any way you like. I've seen some really interesting colors lately. Or you could change your pumpkins into a different detail, like houses or trees. After I color my pumpkins, I'm going to cut them out. The different size of the pumpkins that I drew are going to help me tell my story of space for this landscape. The bigger pumpkin's in the foreground, and that makes it look closer. My middle pumpkin is in the middle ground, and my smallest pumpkin can be further away. I can also use overlapping. If the pumpkin's in front and overlapping the one behind it, that means it's closer. Because we cut and glued all these shapes down, this part was a collage. Collage means cutting and gluing. Next, we're going to take our crayons and add more details. That way we can really personalize our landscape. I'm still going to be thinking about size and details. The trees I draw on the foreground are going to be bigger and they will have more detail. My smaller tree looks smaller because it's on the middle ground and that one's further away. So it's smaller and it will have less detail. The tree in my foreground has more detail and colors. This one is simpler. The foreground will have more detail than the middle ground. The background is farthest away, but there are a lot of interesting things you can add to a background. What's the weather like in your landscape? What time of day is it in your landscape? Will you add animals or people or buildings? Now I have my lovely fall landscape with my foreground, my middle ground, and my background. Don't forget to sign your name. I can't wait to see all of your lovely Collage Landscapes.